Welcome. So in the previous videos, we performed some basic perform and run and executed our scripts in QuickTest Professional. Some basic navigating to a browser, entering some text, and closing the browser on Facebook.com. In this video, we'll explore QTP checkpoints. What exactly are QTP checkpoints all about? Well, this checkpoint concept is not very different from the checkpoints we have in our real life. For example, if you are traveling to another country, on the border you have those checkpoints. So you have to show your passport and ID. Well, QTP checkpoints are not very different than those real-life checkpoint concepts. A checkpoint is basically all about checking something within the application. So, for example, if you want to check if something is presented or something that is expected to be presented within the application, that is all about putting a checkpoint into QuickTest Professional. So to put a checkpoint, you can use this Insert Checkpoint option. Here you can see some standard checkpoint, text checkpoint, bitmap, database checkpoint. For now, we'll stick with standard checkpoints. By default, these checkpoints are disabled because you have to be in recording mode to be able to put any type of checkpoint into QTP. So I have an open browser. Let's close the browser. Let's record another script, and this time we'll insert a checkpoint. So instead of describing different types of QTP checkpoints, let's have a look at a real-time example of putting in a checkpoint. So let's click on record, say OK on it. Now let me open up a browser by double-clicking on Internet Explorer from my desktop. Once again, I'll navigate to Facebook.com. Let me stop the recording. And let's clear this code and take care of these dialog boxes that keep coming up along the way. QTP may get confused if the dialog box is not presented in the future. So this comes in the recording of our tasks, but we'll discuss that later. For now, I'll just disable the dialog boxes. Later on, you'll be able to handle these exceptions and dialog boxes because you never know when these dialog boxes will come along. So I close it all out and start again and click on record. I open up Internet Explorer from my desktop and navigate to Facebook.com. And as usual, I enter some text, an invalid username, and an invalid password. Click on Login, and OK. So at this point, I want to check that after putting in some invalid email and invalid password, so some invalid credentials, I want to check that this error message, account not confirmed, I want to check that this error message is expected. So I should not be logging in successfully after putting in some invalid credentials. So this is testing. This is negative testing. You are intentionally putting in some invalid text and checking for the error message. So again, this is called negative testing. So checking that you are not able to log in successfully. Okay, and as you can see, everything was pretty much recorded, and the script was generated because of the recorded actions I've performed. You can see logging into Facebook, click on login, entered some text. At this point, I want to enter a checkpoint for this text I see in pink, this light pink text box. I want to check if text is here or not. If this text is not here, that means something is wrong. While I am in the recording mode, again, I have to be in the recording mode in order to put a checkpoint. Let's click on Insert, click on Checkpoint, and I choose Standard Checkpoint for now. I can see a hand sign coming up. Again, I'm in the recording mode. I can see this hand sign, and I can basically click anywhere within the application, and I can create a checkpoint. QTP will create a checkpoint for me. So I click on this text box, this pink text box, and it shows me that this is basically a web element. So this text box, this text, is identified as a web element. So I click on OK. Now it will basically show this properties and value that it will check for. It will check that the email address you have entered is not valid, and blah blah blah. And then this is the error message. Leave everything as default for now and click on OK. And if I go back to the code, I can see that a checkpoint got generated. I can see QTP just created a checkpoint for this text box. So next time I run the script, it will check for this error message after entering some invalid text within the application of Facebook. So in the next video, we'll do some more on checkpoints and some parameterization in QTP. Thank you.